Live? Yes, we are live. Welcome to another live stream. Very excited about the presentation we have lined up for today. I won't be too long. I know this is Monday night. A lot of people have to get up early in the morning, but I wanted to go over this. I wanted to stress this. Hello. That's another thing. I will be able to read your comments as I do this presentation, which is excellent, so I can incorporate your input into the live stream. Hello to everyone and welcome. The crusade continues. There is nothing that will stop us, nothing. We are going to continue to push this crusade until these things are illegal to own. At the very least, large dogs. People, there is no excuse for this. No justification for it whatsoever. Right? Hello to who? Mr. Nate 666 Gling, Black Mita. Yes, dogs are absolutely worthless. And I'm going to do my best to present the facts in a way that everybody can understand. They absolutely should become extinct, right? And I want young people to listen to these live streams as well. I know for a fact there have been several people who have been victims of dog attacks. And they are hearing things in these videos, and they are reading things in the comment section that they need to hear, right? And it's quite therapeutic for these victims. Wonder if the rumor that dogs are more hostile towards people of color is true or not. I'm not sure about that. Not sure about it. I hope it's not true. Right? I know those dogs that chased me the other day, they singled me out. There were other black people out there. Right? So I hope that's not true. But these things, whether it's true or not, these things are absolutely worthless. And this deserves a real crusade. Your friend's dog only barks at black people. Well, it might be some truth to that. Maybe some truth to that. I don't know. There are a lot of things about dogs that we don't know. Even the doctors, they don't know. Right? And we have to keep that close in mind because they like to talk about dogs as if they know everything about them, and they don't. So, and when you listen to the excuses they give to why dogs attack, you know full well these people do not fully understand dogs. So, and especially after we go over the information we have lined up for today, it will be quite apparent. So, all right, 22 people so far. We will 24 people. You know what? Let's get started. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too long. The title of this presentation is "You Do Not Need Dogs. All you need is other humans." And this is absolutely true. Hello to everyone. Buster Gundo, Tammy James says, "Hi, husband." I will accept that. However you want to describe me, feel free, as long as you are here and absorbing the message. Right? Kennel Corn, listening to dogs constantly bark at you while you're asleep. Oh, that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. They are a noise pollution. They are a soil pollution. They literally contaminate the soil they walk on. Talked about before, the brown spots in people's lawn is from dog urine. As far as I'm aware, only dog urine kills plant life on contact, right? These things are demons. Closest thing to demons you could possibly get. Throw a fist-sized rock at their house and cars. I never complained to them or the police. Animal control. These are sociopaths. Yeah, definitely. These are sociopaths. They don't care about anyone. I think they have a multitude of mental disorders that leads them to be dog lovers. But like I said, I'm going to try my best not to degrade them too much, because some of them will change. They will change. So let's jump right into this presentation. First, I want to go over a few reports, and I will tie that in to the main point of this presentation. Dog euthanized after attacking a 1-year-old child in Omaha. I believe most of you are familiar with this story. Yeah, people with pit bulls, they think they're tough now. We're going to talk about that in an entire stream, because it deserves a lot of attention. Because these guys who are insecure in their manhood, they feel like they make it up by having a pit bull or some type of vicious dog that they are in control of. Right? I've talked about this. They feel powerful all of a sudden when they can startle you and intimidate you. This is why I say, Crusaders, if you are in an open carry state like I am, have your weapon on you. Let them know that you have a deadly weapon as well. But unlike their deadly weapon, your weapon is under your control. The dog has a mind of its own, and it's the dog's decision whether or not you get attacked. Same for kids, so on and so forth. We will come back to that. Right? So most of you are familiar with this story. It took place in Omaha. The child was on the living room floor when no, this is a different story. One of the family's 3 Doberman pinschers attacked this boy. The other 2 dogs were not involved. The victim suffered multiple lacerations and skull fractures. These are Doberman pinschers. People, why would you invite these things into your home? This is madness, absolute madness. I cannot wrap my head around it whatsoever. How could anyone trust these things? I'm going to talk about later how, you've heard me say this, no other animal group does this. Only humans, and we pay a price for doing it. We pay a price that other animal groups do not pay. Right? And it is a shame. There's no excuse for it. The owner of this dog was cited for no proof of pet licensing and no proof of rabies vaccinations for all 3 dogs. How insane is that? Sound like she's just taking in dogs straight from off the street. Now, one female admitted to doing just that. The woman who was attacked by that white pit bull, she admitted that she brought it in straight from off of the street. Insanity. These people get to the point where they think these predators are harmless. That is when you know you are out of your mind. When you don't have a proper connection with reality. These are brainless mutants, natural predators. You never trust something like that. The dog was surrendered and was humanely euthanized for rabies testing. They always have to throw that in there. Humanely euthanize after they inhumanely maul children. I don't understand why they think the dog deserves to be treated in a humane way after they torture children. Getting mauled is torture. You're having your flesh ripped from your bones. Yeah, humanely. Check that out. Humanely euthanize. As if that is what the dog deserves. As if it's done something that warrants kindness. I don't think so. No, dogs do not understand morals whatsoever. Whatsoever. That's been proven. I've went over that before. They cannot feel guilt or remorse. Anything like that does not understand morals. That is why after they maul someone, they walk away as if nothing happened. No guilt, no remorse. Anything that is incapable of having guilt and remorse is also incapable of love. It cannot love you because I cannot mutilate you and claim to love you at the same time. That's impossible. Like I said, that is a complex human emotion. Dogs do not experience love, only obsession with food. Uh, yes, I agree, Glenn. You know, it's real tough for me. Sometimes I need to take a break. I see so many kids, and it's in real time, recent stories who've been mutilated, and it's insane to me. It is very sickening, right? At the time of the attack, the child was being babysat by a niece. No additional details were provided. Now, this is the story I talked about earlier. And, you know, Daily Mail tends to word things properly. At least they are more realistic about these stories than American-based stories. I believe Daily Mail is out of the UK, right? And I appreciated the way they, you know, phrased some of the things in this article. Yeah, they definitely, Mike, I agree, should not call dogs babies. They are anything but. Anything but. If we may get some trolls in here, don't worry. I'm in the process of figuring out how to make people moderators, and we will boot the trolls out on a regular basis. But please do not allow them to distract you. Horrific injuries of a 6-year-old boy who was mauled by his lovable family pet pit bull named Chaos after he got up to get a snack. Now, many of you remember this. And, you know, I like the way they phrased that. You know, they threw in the word lovable, right? Camden Bosbell was attacked by Chaos, 5-year-old pit bull at his grandmother's house. He underwent emergency surgery and was hospitalized for 2 days before being released. The first responders said it was the worst thing they had ever seen. The mother said, "It was the worst day of my life. I spent a month crying for Camden." The 6-year-old has had to have plastic surgery to reconstruct his face. Again, I have to remind people, dogs usually go after kids' face and neck, as if attacking kids wasn't bad enough. These things focus on the vital areas. Yes, Mike, it's satanic. I made a video titled "Dogs Are Demons," I believe it is, and I talked about that. I believe it's very much satanic And I believe dogs are the closest thing to a real demon on this earth, right? I broke it down on that video. I might leave a link uh, in the comment section of this stream. Yes, yes, I agree, Kirby. That's why they named it Chaos. It's terrible. Yes, they know that children are weak, just like the elderly. They will attack the elderly. And dogs are cowards in a way. They are very cowardly in the way they attack the weak and vulnerable. It's pretty pathetic. It is unclear. Now, listen to this. It's unclear why the dog attacked the child, but the pet has no history of aggressive behavior. Yet another example of this idea of family dogs being harmless being debunked by reality. And it happens all the time. When a person who does not like dogs makes it known, the first thing the dog lover says is that the dog has never attacked anyone. And that is what they always say, right? That is no insurance whatsoever. Grew up with a German Shepherd, and she would have gave her life to protect me. I find it hard to understand why you think, oh, we got dog nuts in here. Please don't pay them no mind. You know, I don't even follow people who I don't agree with, but these deranged dog lovers who follow me and come into chat room of all, they're just showing you how deranged they are. If I disagree with you, I'm not going to follow you. Definitely not going to come in the chat room. As you can see, these people have social issues, right? So, yet another dog with no history of aggressive behavior, mauling a little boy. And this mutt tried to kill this boy, clearly. The child told his family when he was released from the hospital, "I'm glad that dog didn't kill me. I didn't want to die." Right? Unbelievable. The dog was about an inch or two away from his vital areas. He was almost killed. So this is absolute madness. And the thing is, this happens to 10 to 15,000 kids per year. That's the crazy part. How is this not a national emergency? That there is nothing that is going on right now that is more important or extreme than this. Kids under 13, 5 to 9 impacted the most. 10 to 15,000 mutilations. People, that is madness. Madness. The mother believes that the child will need counseling later on in life. She says the scars don't bother Camden. My question is, how do you know? How do you know? They may very well bother him. She said, but people stare in the grocery store and that upsets him, especially when they ask what happened. Now, I believe this is the mother who said that she was reluctant to tell people the breed of the dog because, yet again, it's a pit bull or some bully breed. They're all the same to me. So it is law to always try to protect the dogs that attack the kids and protect the image of all dogs. It says the trauma is not over. It's going to be something that we're going to deal with for the rest of his life. No, it is something that him, Camden, is going to deal with for the rest of his life. Suppose that mutt. Dog, yeah. Dogs. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm making. Yes, dogs are like slave. You know, they are considered property. Property, just like a slave. You own them. They can't enjoy nature as they are designed to, even though they are mutants. How can you consider yourself a person with high morals? Now, mothers are not blameless either, because make no mistake, the protective instinct of mothers is powerful, very powerful, right? A female lion, a lioness, she will fight a male to protect her kids. But I mentioned fathers mainly because I'm a man and I can relate to the men and fathers much better. Uh, Thank you to Kirby for super chat. All dogs are naturally aggressive, no matter what breed. Yes, yes, and we're going to go over a small dog that attacked this woman's infant. Like I said, even those small dogs, they will attack infants. So that is why I say all dogs need to be gotten rid of, all of them. Right? So only Camden will have to deal with these scars for the rest of his life. And these scars are going to remind him, yes, as I was saying before, men, you know, they seem like they're more receptive to threats. I say this just out of situations I've had with my sisters where I saw a threat in certain beliefs, personalities of other guys that they didn't see, but then they realized it later on after something bad happened. You know, it just hit me like maybe men are more receptive to threats, at least different types of threats. And we should be highly receptive to this type of threat. A mutt with long teeth, this is right in your face, an obvious threat. And you invite these things into your home around your kids and your wife, you are out of your mind. And you basically say to the dog, it's up to you whether or not you want to attack me and my family. Unbelievable. That is madness, people. Owners in their own. So only Camden has to deal with this for the rest of his life. And he is going to be reminded for the rest of his life of how his mother did not care about him enough to create a safe environment that would prevent this from happening. The attack itself will be classified as an accident and it will be pushed to the side. This happens every single time. Every single time. It was an accident. No, these are predators and they behaved like a predator. These things are worse than natural carnivores because they are mutants. I've gone over how being a mutant usually makes an organism more aggressive. We talked about I believe it's the green crab, has a heightened aggression because it is a mutant. And they are depicted, mutants are depicted in, cartoons and movies as being hyper aggressive. That describes dogs to a T. To a T. Yes, dog bites are much worse than a snake bite, unless of course it's poisonous. But dog bites, especially from a pit bull, they bite down and shake. It's ridiculous. Yes, down with mutts. Yes, yes. I have a lot to get off my chest too. And I never feel like I get it all off of my chest. No matter, If I even speak for 2, 3 hours, there's so much more to say, because the more you say, the more you realize how much more there is to say. This is very deep, very deep. Yes, a Rottweiler, all of them. Yes, yes. And to let dogs lick them, then they'll let them lick their infants, their kids, knowing that the dog licks the toilet, its own genitals, eats excrement, drinks urine, and it will eat the excrement of any animal. It's a safety hazard. It's a health hazard. Like I said before, they could go out and eat the excrement of a bat, something with a real bad disease. And now it is going to spread it throughout your family. These things are a health hazard, especially now in this COVID era. There's no excuse for this, people. None whatsoever. Trusting a predator is Russian roulette. It is that simple. Russian roulette. And it should never happen. This should be illegal. This is a video you can find online. Over half of dog bite injuries occur at home with dogs that are familiar to us. Just look at this image, people. Look at this. There is no way this thing would come into my home. No way. I mean, it's so obvious that we have been conditioned to accept these things. If dogs were released into the wild, now this is serious. If they were released into the wild, even in the wild, they would be the most disgusting creatures in the wild. They would be the lowest of the low, the most repugnant. Even other animals know that about dogs. So this idea that family dogs are the safest dogs is nonsense. And we're going to go over more of that in this presentation. Yes, they are an abomination. Thank you so much for the input. I mean, it really makes our message more powerful. Dogs are biting more children during the pandemic, doctors say. We talked about this. I know I saw a discussion between the viewers in the comment section about this is serious. It is at an all-time high all across the country. You must never show compassion to a sociopathic dog, or no, you can't. No, you can't. Right? Yes, yes, and we got to keep that in mind, Tammy. A lot of these people are having intercourse with these dogs. A lot more people than we think. We tend to think it's like maybe 1% of all dogs. No, it is much higher than that. I guarantee you that. With many families still quarantining in their homes to keep safe from the coronavirus, pets are enjoying the everlasting company of their owners like never before. But the constant attention, especially from youngsters, has a downside. Now you can already see how they are setting up the groundwork to blame the kids for the attack. Even though we have an endless amount of proof to show that most attacks are unprovoked, they still go back to this nonsense of the kids had to have done it. They do it to protect the dogs. That is when you know you're dealing with a very psychotic, satanic, sick cult. It says doctors in Colorado are reporting startling rates of child emergency room visits for dog bites since the start of stay-at-home orders. And even as restrictions ease, attacks continue to send kids to the hospital. right? So they've increased since this pandemic. This spring, visits for dog bites to Children's Hospital in Colorado have nearly tripled those of last year at the same time. Now, here we go. Doctors blame decreased adult supervision of kids around dogs and heightened pandemic-related stress for both pets and owners. They are bending over backwards to take blame off the dog, to protect the dog, and blame something else. Place most of the blame on the child themselves. It is unbelievable. And this is absolutely, this is dog worship. Absolutely. How you raise them. Yes. People who say it's all about how you raise the dogs. Well, it is family dogs that attack the most. This is a proven fact. So they have no idea what they're talking about. Later in this presentation, I'm going to show you that family dogs bite even more than stray dogs. Because the real threat is being in close proximity with the things, trained or not. Your kids are only safe when that mutt is not inside of your home. All right, it says, yeah, like I said, most attacks occur while the parents are present. So this doctor is wrong. He says that most of the attacks are because of decreased adult supervision of kids around dogs. That is nonsense. No amount of supervision is sufficient. That is the fact. That is the fact. As long as these mutants are inside of your home, the threat is there. You are never going to be fast enough to stop that worthless mutt from attacking your child or infant once you see that that is what the dog is going to do. Even if you're looking right at it, they're going to lunge toward your child too fast or just snap down on your child too fast for you to stop them. Even if the thing is running across the room and runs past you, most likely you're not going to be able to stop it. So this is nonsense about adult supervision. That is nonsense. Absolutely BS. And I get sick of that. I'm going to start calling that out every time I see that in an article or whatever. No level of supervision is sufficient. The only thing that is sufficient is to get that worthless mutt out of the home and out of the community. Only then are your children safe. Bringing no brainless, worthless mutant into your home around your kid. Are you out of your mind? Yes, you are. You're totally out of your mind. These people are crazy. Right? Let me calm down so I can continue with this presentation. It is critical that parents and caregivers of children prioritize the best way to prevent dog bites, which is to always, always supervise infants and children whenever they are near a dog. Once again, that supervision crap is nonsense. As long as that mutt is in your home, if it decides to attack your children, most likely you're not going to be able to do anything to stop it. If you want to credit supervision, that supervision should involve not allowing that mutt into the home. That is the only type of supervision that is sufficient. Do not let them run this nonsense on you. Right? And I'm going to remember some of these trolls so that I can block them later on. Yes, Josh, do not date dog owners. None of you, male or female. They're going to pass everything that worthless mutt has on to you. You can guarantee they rub on it, they kiss it, let it lick them. Stay away from people who are dog lovers. It is disgusting. I must owner. Yes, I would not eat dog. I don't eat meat at all. But even if I did, I would definitely not eat dog meat. That is insane. These are disgusting. I think they're more disgusting than pigs. Oh, those dog ads make me sick. Silver sheep, they make me sick. I'm telling you, these ASPCA ads, they infuriate me instantly as soon as I see them, and they are everywhere. Facebook, everywhere. And they really make me sick. Have some pitiful looking mutt, and it's usually a pit bull or some bully breed sitting there looking pitiful. Why? Because these shelters are full of majority bully breeds, and they want to get you to adopt them. So they have some nasty, dirty, pitiful looking mutt on the ad saying some stupid caption. These things make me absolutely sick. It should be illegal to have ads like that. The ASPCA is a very disgusting organization. Says canines are also more likely to bite when protecting their property, toys, and food, or when they are sick, excited, or frightened. People, people, people. First of all, the beginning of this sentence, they are trying to once again blame the child for the attack. That the child went after the dog's property, after the dog's toys, after the dog's food. When again, do the research for yourself. The majority of kids who are attacked, it was unprovoked. We have several examples on film. These mutts will run from a distance right up to a child and attack them. And they never talk about that. Never talk about those types of attacks because they have no defense for those types of dogs. And those are the majority. So they don't have an excuse or reason or explanation for the majority of the types of attacks, which is unprovoked. Children like with their dogs, basically everything. Yes, they people, sometimes I think that my hatred for dogs and my extreme disappointment for dog owners will reduce over time. It does not. It does not. Yes, they do think dogs are more important. It slowly increases over time. I'm telling you now, as time passes, I become more and more upset, disappointed, and disgusted by this dog love culture. Children between the age of 5 and 9 have the highest risk of getting bitten by a dog. Let me go back because I just pointed out the beginning of that sentence. They are trying to blame the child, saying that dogs are more likely to bite when they protect their property, toys, and food. Nonsense. Most attacks are unprovoked. But then it goes on to say, or when they are sick, excited, or frightened. How is being excited an acceptable reason to attack someone? They say it as if you should understand it, as if you as a human attack people when you get excited or frightened, even frightened. Why would you attack someone you know that you've known for years? What kind of sense does that make? Animal nature is not compatible with human nature. There is no way to explain this away. A mutt that is sick will attack you. What does that mean? That means get it out of your home. How likely is it that the mutt will get sick, excited, or frightened when it is in your home? Very likely. So these excuses really amount to no reason at all, right? And it says, look at this well-constructed presentation back of the, yes, yes. And notice, Kendall Corn, notice that the dog lovers are, they deal with fantasy completely. They do not bring up facts or anything. It is all fantasy and persuasion. Truth is never that complicated. Says of the nearly 340,000 emergency department visits for dog bite injuries each year, which equates to more than 900 per day, more than 40% of the victims are children and adolescents. And I believe this only applies to Colorado. For the nation, it is over half. And I shared one statistic with you before that over half of all kids in the United States will be bitten by a dog before their 13th birthday. That is madness. Absolute madness. Because one of the reasons dogs are biting more than usual is because of emotional contagion. When pet dogs mirror emotions and stress levels of their owners. Listen to that. How ridiculous is that? You can tell that this is nonsense. A dog attacks someone, and these dog lovers say, oh no, it's not the dog's fault. It is mirroring your emotions and your stress levels. What are you talking about? Absolute madness. They will come up and dig up anything to protect these mutants. Any and everything they will try to use to defend dogs and justify their presence in society. And this is what these stupid excuses come from. Them trying to tiptoe around the fact that these things do not belong in our society at all. And this should be common sense. All the evidence is right there in your face. Dog owners bring up emotion and affection from themselves, trying to persuade. Yes, yes. They're always trying to persuade. Blame the child if you have to. Blame the child. Do anything to take blame off of the dog and off of the insanity of bringing these things into our homes. It says, while parents deal with virtual meetings and workload, children who would usually be at school or daycare may not be supervised properly. Here we go again. Blame the dog. This could increase the likelihood of negative interactions between dog and child that lead to an attack. Listen to this nonsense. Listen to this nonsense. Listen to the language they use. Negative interactions. No, increase the likelihood of that mutt mauling your child. But again, they are trying to imply that most attacks occur because these kids are harassing these mutts. They are not. They are not. Almost always, these reports say that the attack was completely unprovoked. Experts advise to never disturb a dog when sleeping or eating. Avoid running away from dogs. Teach children to move slowly around dogs and to keep dogs healthy by keeping up with their veterinarian. Listen to this nonsense. Move slowly through your home or else the dog will attack you. Why would you have something like that in your home? Don't walk too fast. Don't move too fast. You have to function in constant fear of being attacked. You have to move a certain way for the dog's satisfaction. That is madness. Are you out of your mind? You really take away our right to be humans when you do stuff like that. It is human nature. We move, sometimes fast. We stand up quickly. What are you talking about? We can move as fast as we want, as if this mutt does anything for us. These people take care of these things. These dogs are completely dependent on humans, and yet they expect us to abide by the dog's rules, its social rule. Are you out of your mind? Move slowly? No, get that mutt out of the home and out of the community. So the whole point is to blame the children for the attack, to ignore the hazardous environment that they have created. This is cult behavior, people. A satanic demonic cult. Ignore the hazardous environment that they have created, and that is bringing that mutt into your home, really into the community, period. Their goal is to ignore the dogs themselves, take attention away from the dogs. Like I said before, they will look for heroes and all this nonsense. Like kids either play with them, curiosity. Yes. Now I've gone over that before. Kids are curious. That is how we as humans explore the world. We touch. And it is your job as the parent to create a safe environment for them to develop like a human being, not like someone who is terrified of a worthless mutt. Natural predators with increased aggression because they are mutants that attack for no reason. They ignore dog aggression in order to protect the dogs. Blame something, anything. Or you moved too fast. You stood up too fast. Or the dog thought you were coming after his toy, after his food. Right? All of these stupid reasons are no reasons at all. And it really speaks to how dysfunctional these things are. Now, I want to apologize. I was using the word retard and retarded. I'm going to do my best not to use that word. Someone who had a disabled child was listening. Really don't mean, especially don't mean to offend followers. But I'm just trying to paint an accurate picture. These things are mentally unstable. Mentally unstable, and we need to be mindful of that. Jack Russell, one of those small dogs, right? We were just talking about this. Mother warns potential dog owners after Jack Russell attacks infant son. There you go. A 9-month-old baby attacked by Jack Russell. Those are terriers too, I believe. Yeah, absolute nonsense. That's why I don't, you know, co-sign with this belief that small dogs are okay. No, they're not. A woman has warned potential dog owners after her Jack Russell Terrier attacked her infant son. Her 6-year-old dog, Max, attacked her 9-month-old baby. Earlier this week, what does it say? Completely unprovoked. Completely unprovoked. This was an infant. So the infant was not walking fast, was not going after this mutt's food or this mutt's toy. She probably left the room and this mutt mauled the baby. Competition for food. Again, they see you feeding the baby and they view it as food that they could eat if the baby was not there. You do not gamble with your kid's life like that. That is madness. The child had sustained an eye injury and has been put on a course of antibiotics following the attack. So I don't co-sign with this, oh, small dogs are okay nonsense. It says we trusted Max with our lives. He was our pet. What does that sound like? The typical dog lover. We love our dog. We trust our dog. These are always the dogs that end up attacking people's kids. We were in the kitchen and I had the two back doors open. Caden was crawling out while we were watching and passed by Max. And just like that, completely unprovoked, no snarl, no bark, he attacked this 9-month-old. These dog lovers, they don't talk about situations like this, even though these are the majority of the situations. What does that tell you? They always want to refer back to, oh, the dog is sick. Oh, you go for its toy. You go for its food. They always revert back to situations that hardly never happen. Do not let them run that nonsense on you, people. I want the Crusaders here to be sharp, and on top of everything. After the attack, the dog ran off and went after Sarah's 15-year-old daughter when she tried to discipline him. 15-year-old daughter. So this mutt attacked the baby, then attacked a 15-year-old girl. So size is not always a factor with these mutts. The mother said her family had never seen that side of their dog and that he was placid. That's what they say every time, every single time. We've never seen that side of the dog. We didn't know the dog was capable of such violence. Madness. I have a 9-year-old as well, and he grew up with her, this article reads. Like I said, when you bring these things into your home, you are playing Russian roulette with you and especially your children. I hope the dog is dead. I'm not sure if it got euthanized, right? These are the same types of dogs they love to project as harmless. The family dog with no history of mauling anyone or attacking anyone, never shown aggression. Take that as a warning sign that that is the very type of mutt to attack. Listen to it. Never in a million years did we think Max could do that. Again, this is the typical dog lover. The typical dog lover. The family had deliberated on putting the dog to sleep, but have decided to rehome him to a house with no children. Listen, people, that is madness. Rehome him to a house with no children. I don't have any children, but that does not mean my nephews and nieces won't be over here at times. Our kids populate the entire community, and you need to get the dogs out of the community itself. The community itself is our children's territory, not just the home. This is madness. Why is it everything these dog lovers say has so much madness involved in it? It just sounds ridiculous. She says if you're considering on getting a dog, really think first if you have small kids. You think so? Right. Yes. Thank you again, everyone, for the input. It will be in the archives of the stream once it is uploaded. Yes, a lot of these dog lovers are on drugs, and that's dangerous as well, because they say it's child endangerment when you are at home with a child babysitting and you are on drugs. Well, it's even worse when you're on drugs and there's a freaking dog in the home. Absolute madness. In India, India has more stray dogs than any other country in the world. And we have a crazy story out of India. The dog, I don't use this. Yes, 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 yes. And they did a very good article. Do India's stray dogs kill more people than terror attacks? Stray dogs, listen, stray dogs kill more people in India than terror attacks. That is madness. Feral dog, that's another way of saying stray dogs. The reasons are simple. India has some 30 million stray mutts. I like how they use the word mutts here. 30 million stray mutts, and more than 20,000 people die of rabies every year. People, that would be us if we let these mutts loose into the wild. That's why I say that's not an option. That's not an option. These things feast on human territory. By nature, they are our biggest enemies. They are a nuisance. They are the biggest menace to human society. Not man's best friend. It says last year, Global Alliance for Rabies Control reported that India accounted for 35% of human rabies deaths, more than any other country. Now listen to this. But are the stray dogs mainly responsible for biting humans? The evidence is mixed. A study of dog bite cases conducted at a hospital in Kerala last year showed 75% of the patients had been bitten by the pet dogs, and only a quarter had been caused by strays. This is in India, people. A 2013 study in 13 Tamil Nadu schools found that pet dogs accounted for more than half of the dog bites suffered by students. So here, in a country that has more stray dogs, 30 million stray dogs, in a country that has the most stray dogs in the world, still the family dogs bite most often. The ones that are supposedly trained, that loves the family, that is a member of the family. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It tells you that the real danger is being in close proximity with the things, trained or not. The real danger is having them around you. What does that mean? That means you need to get them out of society, period. Period. It's nonsense. Now, a longtime follower asked a great question. I want to apologize to not only him, but several people who have asked me to cover certain topics on this channel. And I wanted to, but it's so much information. A lot of comments I'm not able to respond to, people. My videos get a lot of comments. So many, I just can't keep up with them. You know, some of the videos I made 3 years ago when I first started this channel, sometimes they will go weeks and get the majority of the comments. And at the same time, really, I'm get additional comments on almost every video. So please, I'm going to try to do a better job at, documenting these requests, because a lot of good suggestions comes from the viewers. And he said, can you make a video about how dog lovers need to interact with humans and humans only. People, this is very serious here. It's like I said, no other animal group does that. The cheetahs stay with the cheetahs, the monkeys with the monkeys, elephants with the elephant. They don't need companion outside of each other. And that same law applies to humans. Do not let them run this game that they are companions and that they are good for your health. That is all nonsense. We will go over that here shortly in this presentation. Animals stick with each other. They don't have this crazy desire to seek companionship and love with other species. That is madness, people. More madness. Everything contained in this cult is madness. And they love the old dogs are good for your blood pressure and all this crap. Get out of here. Many of you remember this video where this deer was with her fawn, her baby. And the mother deer saw a dog. The dog was like a half a block away. And the dog had its back to her and her fawn. That deer ran straight over there and stomped that worthless mutt out. Stomped that worthless mutt until it was motionless on the ground. That mother deer did not ask if that mutt was friendly, and it did not care. It did not care if that mutt didn't have a history of aggression, and it was uncomfortable with how close that mutt was to its baby and took that mutt out. Animals don't need foreign companions, right? This mother deer did not walk up and try to reduce her own blood pressure by rubbing on this filthy, nasty, worthless mutt like these dog lovers claim to do. Oh, it gives you compassion, lowers your blood pressure. Get out of here with that nonsense. Hugging a loved one not only helps you bond with them, but also gives you a host of health benefits by lowering blood pressure and even improving memory, according to a new study. Scientists from the University of Vienna found that the hormone oxytocin releases into the bloodstream when you hold a friend close. This is the exact same thing they credit dogs for. And like I said before, it has nothing to do with what the dog does. It is about what you as a human being do. And your health, your blood pressure will benefit even more if you show affection to another human because you are receptive to human. They say dogs don't even like to be hugged. They don't know what you're doing when you hug them. No, you get the most benefits, health benefits, psychological benefits when you caress another human, a loved one, and they embrace you in return. Not rubbing no stinking worthless mutt. See, they find out that rubbing on a dog lowers your blood pressure, but they leave out the fact that rubbing on a stuffed animal would lower your blood pressure as well. They also leave out the fact that you would have even more health benefits if you were affectionate with another human. We do not need dogs. All we need is each other. And if we got rid of dogs, human relations would improve immediately. Very good website. I'm going to leave a link to this site in the description box. That's how human connection can help lower your blood pressure. Bonding with people is as much a key to survival as food, water, and shelter. Wow. Wow. Concept of service dogs. Service mutts, I don't know. They're worthless. I've talked about them already. Just an excuse to bring their fetish, yes, into the stores, yes. And a lot of times they're not even real service dogs, right? They'll just throw a jacket on their own dog. They can, yes. Dogs do lower your blood pressure. Oh, we got dog nuts galore up in here. Pay them no mind. But again, bonding with people is as much a key to survival as food, water, and shelter. Not only does human connection make us feel safe and supported in a complex world, but it also underlies the body's ability to protect us from illness, right? Being affectionate with humans improves your immune system. Immune system. Yes, good point. Good point. Horizon fade. Dogs increase most people's blood pressure. What the hell are you talking about? The majority of people, when the dog is around, especially when that mutt is off leash, their blood pressure is through the roof. The only time a mutt can lower your blood pressure is when it is your dog and you're at home with that worthless mutt. Any other time, they raise your blood pressure. These people, they're so retarded. They feed and feed these mutts and feed them until the dog recognizes them as a source of food, and the dog does not attack them. It accepts the human's presence because it's a source of food now. And then they think that that dog will be just as kind to them, just as kind to other people as it is to them. And they will let that mutt run off leash just because the dog is friendly with them. Madness. Just because that mutt won't maul you does not mean it won't maul someone else. These people are very unstable. Very unstable. Looney's having, yes, they have full conversations with dogs. This is madness. So yeah, when people receive support during a stressful event, their blood pressure lowered and their heart rate variability increased. Compassionate people in particular derive health benefits from social support and from their own kindness, right? So people who are kind themselves benefit even more from human affection. And humans offer affection in ways dogs cannot. Dogs don't hug you back. Dogs don't rub your back. They don't whisper into your ear. Human voice will also lower your blood pressure and make you feel good, right? Just the mere tone of a person's voice can increase your mood and lower your blood. Ain't no mutt gonna say nothing. So this is nonsense. All this pro-dog. You know what? It's a good thing you dog lovers are in here. You're going to learn not to come in here because I'm going to abuse you with the truth. With the truth. You can bring that nonsense in here all you want. You're eventually going to sit there quiet or leave this chat room because you're going to realize there's too much truth in here for you to handle. Not just from me, but from the crusaders in the chat room. Nonsense. It says married couples who supported each other through warm touch, such as hand holding, hugging, and cuddling, lowered their stress hormone levels. When couples regularly perform this behavior, many of the men showed higher levels of the so-called love hormone oxytocin, which lowers blood pressure. Human affection, married couples, a warm touch, hand holding, hugging, cuddling. Dogs do not and cannot do this. The most effective form of affection for a human comes from another human. another human. Do you understand that, dog nuts? Those of you who have crept into this chat room, try to deny these facts. You think you're going to come in here with that pro-dog nonsense? No, no, no. You're going to get abused from all directions with truth, with facts. And you're going to learn not to come in here. This ain't the place for you. You can run all that dog nut crap on other people. It's not going to fly here. Right? Communication and empathy are at the heart of healthcare. Doctor-patient relationships based on trust, respect, and warmth correlate with positive health outcomes, particularly in treating high blood pressure. These are things dogs are not capable of. Trust, respect. This is madness, people. Do not let them run that nonsense on you about how dogs do something for humans that help humans. Oh, dogs help you live longer and all this crap. No, it's mainly based on what you do. And those benefits are much greater when you do it with another human. Human touch. A wealth of scientific research shows it contributes to another important benefit. It helps us manage our everyday health by lowering blood pressure. So people, we do not need dogs. We don't need them. Do not allow them to run this nonsense on you. They're going to try to come at you with a list of benefits that dogs bring to humans. Understand that humans provide not only the same benefits, but even more and 10 times better than a worthless, brainless, food-obsessed, stinking mutt. These are carcass scavengers. Carcass scavengers. People have decided to invite the nastiest types of creatures into their homes. Not deer, not plant-eating animals. Carcass scavengers, dogs. Unbelievable. So I just wanted to go over that briefly. We've been here so far a little over an hour. I want to thank everybody again for joining. We had as high as 65 people in here. Yes, most dogs are not service dogs. Yes, yes, kissing dogs mentally ill. You know what? Let me check out some of these comments before I go. Yes, to people who value dogs more than humans. Humans have futures, dogs don't. Humans grow up to be intelligent and productive and contribute to society. What do dogs provide that humans don't? Absolutely nothing. Well, they do. Piles of excrement in the lawn, all over, that contaminates our water. Parasites, a never-ending amount of parasites. Stink, stench, all in your home, all in your vehicle. That's what they provide that humans don't. This is absolute madness, man. And I want you, everyone, to have the information on you so that when these dog lovers spew that nonsense, you will be able to shut them down immediately. Immediately. Don't worry about these trolls. You know, they are in the archives, and I'm going to block all of them. And it's very hard for me to keep up with and block people because, you know, I just get so much traffic on this channel. It's ridiculous. And it's very difficult for me to keep up with the pro-dog trolls. But we're going to deal with them systematically, especially after I get a few moderators up in here, right? So thanks again to everyone who joined. Like I said, this will be a regular thing on this channel, and we will continue with this merciless crusade against these worthless mutts and their enabling owners.